Good evening. I would like to call tonight's meeting of the Tacoma Park City Council to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Searcy.
Here.
Councilmember Fulcher.
Present.
Councilmember Dubala.
Present.
Councilmember Gibson.
Here.
Councilmember Siemens.
Present.
Councilmember Hanzak.
Present.
Councilmember Small.
Yes, y'all.
Good evening, everyone. I first want to say thank you all for coming tonight, as this is the final meeting of the outgoing city council and the swearing in of our new city council. And so we are excited not only to be able to celebrate our colleagues that will be stepping down, but to also congratulate our new colleagues on city council who will be joining us shortly. So we have two agendas this evening. I am going to walk through them because there has been a slight agenda change. So for the outgoing, so the meeting will consist of two parts. The first part relates to the outgoing council. And I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the right side. Excellent. Hold on, I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the right side. All right. And so we will have, actually, I am going to read the proclamations for our outgoing council members, which was slated to be part of the new city council meeting, which is slated to start at 8 o'clock. And so then we will have public comments, council remarks, and then we will adjourn. And then after the adjournment, then we will have the swearing in of the new city council. I will be sworn in by Ms. Karen A. Bishop, the clerk of the Montgomery County Circuit Court, who will administer the oath of office to myself. And then I will proceed with administering the oath of office to incoming council members. Then the new city council members will have a seat at the dais. And then we will be sworn, and then we will do a roll call. And because I've moved for the records to this current sitting, we will also allow for any public comments or council remarks for the new council, and then we will adjourn. Okay. So with that, I am going to move forward with our proclamations for recognizing departing city council members Shana Fulcher, Randy Gibson, Jason Small, and Terry Siemens. So okay, so I'm going to start with the mayoral proclamation recognizing Randy Gibson for service to the city of Tacoma Park. Whereas Randy Gibson was elected to the Tacoma Park City Council as the representative for Ward 3 in 2022. And whereas prior to his election to the City Council, Councilmember Gibson was an environmental advocate by volunteering with the Climate Action Coffee, a local environmental education and advocacy group. And whereas Councilmember Gibson continued to voice strong support for local environmental issues and the stormwater impacts of climate change on residents. And whereas he served on the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, Chesapeake Bay, and Food and Agricultural Committees. And whereas while on the Tacoma Park City Council, Councilmember Gibson was a strong advocate for the governance and the budget, including serving on the council working group focused on finance and encouraging the development of performance measures for the city's programs. And whereas Councilmember Gibson has made lasting impacts on the community. And it looks like am missing the second page. Let's see. Okay. Now, therefore, I, Talisha Searcy, Mayor of the City of Tacoma Park, Maryland, on behalf of the City Council and residents, hereby proclaim our appreciation for Randy Gibson's service to the residents of Tacoma Park. And the next, we will sign and take photos later. And the next is for Council Member Shana Fulcher. Recognizing Shana Fulcher's years of service to the city of Tacoma Park. Whereas Shana Fulcher was elected to the Tacoma Park City Council in 2022. And whereas As the Ward 1 council member, Councilmember Fulcher advocated for businesses and residents alike. And whereas Councilmember Fulcher strongly advocated for pedestrian safety and traffic calming, including serving on the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments Transportation Planning Board and obtaining a stop sign at Grant Avenue and Maple Avenue. And whereas Councilmember Fulcher was a steadfast ally to the wards and residents who have faced the most significant challenges by advocating for more equitable distribution of public resources. And whereas Councilmember Fulcher served on the board of the Montgomery County chapter of the Maryland Municipal League. And whereas she also served on city council working groups focused on city finances and on council committee policies and appointments. And whereas Councilmember Fulcher emphasized youth engagement during her term by hosting student interns, engaging local youth groups, and serving as the city council liaison to the city's youth council. And whereas in addition to serving on the Tacoma Park City Council, Councilmember Fulcher has been a Girl Scout leader since 2013. And whereas Councilmember Fulcher has made lasting contributions to the city. Now, therefore, I, Talisha Searcy, Mayor of the City of Tacoma Park, Maryland, on behalf of the City Council and residents, hereby proclaim our appreciation for Shayna Fulcher's service to the residents of Tacoma Park. Next, proclamation recognizing Jason Small for service to the City of Tacoma Park. Whereas Jason Small was elected to the Tacoma Park City Council as the representative for Ward 6 in 2022. And whereas prior to his election to the City Council, Councilmember Small served his community for many years, including as the president of the New Hampshire Gardens Community Association. And whereas while on the Tacoma Park City Council, Councilmember Small was a strong advocate for traffic calming, pedestrian and public safety, and using a data-driven approach to ensure public resources were allocated equitably across the city. And whereas Councilmember Small served on the Metropolitan Council Washington Council of Governments Region Forward Committee, and whereas under his leadership, the City of Tacoma Park successfully advocated for House Bill 182, which authorized municipalities to remove unlawfully restricted covenants for properties within municipal boundaries. And whereas Councilmember Small has made lasting impacts on the community. Now, therefore, I, Talisha Searcy, Mayor of the City of Tacoma Park, Maryland, on behalf of the City Council and residents, hereby proclaim our appreciation for Jason Small's service to the residents of Tacoma Park. And last but not least, recognizing Terry Seaman's years of service to the City of Tacoma Park. Whereas Terry Siemens has lived in the City of Tacoma Park for over 40 years, and whereas Terry Siemens was elected to the Tacoma Park City Council in 1999. And whereas, as the Ward 4 council member, Councilmember Siemens advocated for residents, addressed food insecurity locally, and fought for police reform. And whereas, at 23 years of service, Councilmember Siemens is among the city's longest-serving elected officials. And whereas, over the years, he has served on numerous groups and committees, including the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, Human Services, and Public Safety Police Committee. And whereas Councilmember Siemens and his wife Joyce are pillars of the community and have jointly worked to support Tacoma Park residents by delivering food and connecting residents with social services. And whereas Councilmember Siemens and his wife Joyce volunteers with the Manna Food Center of Rockville and the Advances Community Service of Greater Washington. And whereas he also volunteers with the Tacoma Park Independence Day Committee and Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. And whereas he has served as a mentor to new city council members like me and other elected officials. And whereas throughout his years of distinguished service, Councilmember Siemens has earned widespread admiration for embodying the principles of justice, compassion, and equity, fostering deep trust and respect among colleagues, constituents, and the broader community. Now therefore, I, Talisha Searcy, Mayor of the City of Tacoma Park, Maryland, on behalf of the City Council and residents, hereby proclaim our appreciation of Terry Seaman's many years of service to the residents of Tacoma Park, and we wish him the best in his retirement. And so with that, we are going to, not yet. Council member,
Okay.
I'm sorry, the clerk, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I would just like to say I have a point of order because I have no idea what we are doing. Like point of actual order. Like,
Hold on one second.
I just wanted to make an announcement on behalf of Councilmember Siemens and Joyce Siemens that there will be an event in January to celebrate his service to the community. So we just wanted to make sure people were aware that there will be something else.
Yes. Perfect. And just to remind everyone, as was discussed at the beginning of the meeting, we've shifted things a little bit because I wanted to make sure that these proclamations were done with the current council. We'll still proceed with our agenda, which would be public comments, council remarks, and then this council will adjourn. Okay. It's okay. All right, so do we have any public comments this evening? Hold on, I'm gonna get you set. Hold on, I'm gonna get you set up. There you go.
Well, I'm not from the South really, but no, anyway. First off, to Ward Member number 4, Siemens, he is a smooth operator. My God, he's been so gracious over the years to help and to move forward in a lot of different things. He tried to look for what I call the win-win in situations. He tried to find that common ground and try to move that. So salute to you, sir, for just the sacrifice you made over the years for the things that you've done. To the other ward members who are getting ready to leave from Ward 6 and 4 and 1, all these different folk, thank you for your service because it takes a lot to do what you do. Randy Gibson, my ward, Ward 3. Now let's talk. Good golly, Miss Mother. I know you got beat up this year a lot of times, but I say again to you, thanks for standing in there. Thanks for hanging in there. Because I'll say something when Roger gets ready to get up, but just thanks. Thanks for what you've done. So we're appreciative to everybody on the board. I will remind you of the theme, community first. You can look for win-wins. We don't have to have it just one way or the other. It can be both. It can be some common ground somewhere. Our family shouldn't get in fights like we got for that stuff over there. We shouldn't do that. We're a family. Come on, really. So I've been here for a while. And when I saw that, I was like, come on, because we've been known as United Nations and whatever else, but we have a unique opportunity, especially in these years to come, because we're Tacoma Park and we're seen as a United Nation. So we can be a united family, not agreeing on everything. I'm just saying working harmoniously with each other. So I hope that the city council keeps sort of in mind this win-win idea, this sort of thing. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to have our battles. We're going to have our disagreements. That's okay. But not like we did last time. That doesn't make any sense. We split the city. For what? Over a coffee shop? Really? So I'm saying to keep community first, please. Keep in mind the win-win situations. Thank you all for your services. And Mayor, thank you for being the ringmaster of all this stuff. Y'all take care.
Thank you very much.
Hello there, Council. My name is Carter Doherty. I live on Crescent Place in Ward 1. I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank my friend Shayna Fulcher for her years of service and for knocking on doors and listening to people in Ward 1. I know sometimes thankless doesn't even begin to describe it. Certainly not lucrative. That's definitely not the word when it comes to Tacoma Park Council member. But, you know, you were always there when we had questions, and we really appreciate that. I actually witnessed you getting honked at and flipped off one time for your efforts. And if we're going to talk about overcoming divisiveness, I hope that's the sort of thing that we can consign to the past as well. I would also like to extend a special thanks, although he's not of my ward. I've got to know him as much standing here as at the Manna Food Distribution to Terry Siemens. Your services community is a particular inspiration to me. I had this sort of feeling. I was like, when I moved to Tacoma Park, I thought I want to be like that guy when I grow up. You know, this is the sort of retirement, and like, let's face it, like Terry had a sort of retirement, but not really. And you know, when I saw him bringing voters to the polls on election day, you knew that Terry is gonna, you know, his last act is gonna be dropping a food basket in front of someone's door. So thank you very much, Terry. You're an inspiration to us all, and I hope you do in fact rest in your so-called retirement.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other public comments this evening?
Good evening. I'm Roxanne Fulcher. I live in Ward 1. I first want to say thank you to Terry Siemens for all of the great work that I know you've done. I've been in Tacoma Park for a long time, and I know that you have reached across wards and been integrally involved in all of the wards, and thank you for that. I also want to thank my own councilwoman, Fulcher, for your public service on behalf of the people of Ward 1. About 2,200 voters live in Ward 1. About 900 did not vote. 600, a little more than 600 voted for you. I am among that approximately 600 that did vote for you, and I am saddened to see you step down today. Your voters or constituents that voted for you share your values regarding green space, community, connectivity, inclusiveness, and all those things. And I encourage the council to stay true to those things that Shana has made priorities in the future. I also just wanted to say that I teased Shana a lot during the election that that her mom did not raise her right, because she stayed true to taking the upper road when things were tough and throughout Tacoma Park with some of the elections. And I want to say tonight that I raised you just right. You stayed true to your values of kindness, integrity, and patience. And that about, again, I want to remind you, about 600 people, 46.1% of Tacoma Park Ward 1 residents who voted for you. So you are their person, you are their values. And again, just a reminder, please, council, remember to be inclusive, which I know you will. Remember, we want green space. Remember that the people that are not always here to voice what their priorities are equally as impassioned. They may have other things to do. They're, may not be of my generation that has the time to show up at meetings and publicly state the things that are of concern to us. So again, thank you, Terry Siemens. Thank you, Shana Fulcher. Good night.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other public comments this evening?
Hi, Sue Miller, Ward 3. Thank you to all the outgoing council members for your service, and in particular to Terry for helping us to save the Piney Branch pool more than once back when I was the PTA president. Long may it live. Ward 3, my ward, is deeply grateful for Randy Gibson's exceptional service to our ward and to the city. We talked him out of a pleasant retirement to run, and he threw himself into a very tough 24/7 job. Randy proved himself again and again, always doing the homework and representing the views of his constituents on everything from the smallest curb or bump to existential issues like the threat of displacement from our most affordable housing. Ward 3 elected Randy to represent our progressive values, and that is what he did. And he did this for us even when he had to stand alone at times. It wasn't an easy term. It wasn't always a pleasant job. But watching his proposals, his queries, and his votes, we felt immense pride. We will never forget the way he was willing to push back and stand up. We will never forget the way he insisted on surveying his constituents for their input, And we will never forget the way he wrote comprehensive reports for his constituents every week in the name of transparency, accountability, and greater public engagement. Those reports proved so valuable that they were often shared on listservs in other wards. Randy, you have set a high bar in this, and it will serve as a model going forward. You also set a high bar for calm, respectful, and neighborly interactions on the dais under pressure, and at a time in our nation when this style is sorely lacking. And you always did your best to respond to the actual content of public comments, making us feel heard. Randy, tonight, Ward 3 feels great joy for you as you return to a retirement that is now doubly earned, and return, I hope, to the Appalachian Trail with Jules. Thank you for devoting the last 2 years to community building as we knew you would, and as you've done throughout your life. And we look forward to seeing you back over here on this side of the mic. And so with our deepest gratitude, congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you. Any other general public comments this evening?
Hi, I'm Keith Chamberlain from Ward 1 on Maple Avenue. I want to say congratulations to Terry. I recently retired myself in March, and it's been good. And we appreciate all the years you put into working on the council, helping council members. I know you mentored Shana Fulcher very much, and I'm sure others along the years that we don't even know about. So thank you for your service. We appreciate all you put into Tacoma Park, and I hope that you realize that you helped shape Tacoma Park to be how it is today. And I think that's very important, and we appreciate that. Shana Fulcher, as a member of Ward 1, we're sad to see you go. I know you put your heart and soul into being the council representative for us. I know it's not supposedly a full-time job, but I know you tried to make it into one in spite of having several children. You've done a phenomenal job. I know your integrity, your intelligence, your ability to listen, your sensibility, your wanting to do good for Tacoma Park and make Tacoma Park what it is, like Terry has done. I think you've done a great job trying to keep that going. And we're sad to see you leave. And I've heard other people refer to you as Shana Fulcher is Tacoma Park. And it's sad to see you go, but we appreciate your time. And maybe in the future we'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other general public comments this evening? Okay, with that, we are going to move to council remarks. Councilmember DeBala.
Thank you. I will be brief. The resolutions said it all, and for those of you that haven't gotten one yet, I still have 2 more cards, so most of what I have to say is in these cards. But just for the public, to just say that, Randy, thank you for the carpools. Thank you for the healthy debate in them. That was wonderful. Jason, thank you for the poems. Shana, thank you for the support for women as leaders. And Terry, thank you for the mentoring over all the years and for the example of personal caring that you show as a leader. That's it.
Thank you, Councilmember DeBala. Councilmember Gibson.
Thanks to Reginald and Sue for your very kind comments. So I have some other thank yous. First of all, thanks to Ward 3 residents for your regular contact and communications with me and for your advocacy for good government. Thank you for your support of the principles that brought me to the council. Thank you to the residents of Tacoma Park, especially to those who emailed me and spoke up in council meetings. The value of your words and commitment cannot be understated. Our city needs to hear from your moral compass and about your minor complaints. Thank you, Gibson Jarvis family, for sharing the council burden with me. Thanks to my wife, Julia Jarvis, for helping carry that load with creativity and endurance. Thanks to my daughter, Jean, for acting as my campaign treasurer and website designer. It's been a family undertaking, including my daughter, Lauren, of no small commitment. Thank you, council colleagues. Only you and those who have served before you know the hours, days, and professional commitment required to do this job. Your talents are impressive. Thanks particularly to Cindy DeBala, who's counseled me on procedural matters. Very grateful for that. Thank you to city staff. The depth and breadth of our city services and the professional commitment by staff is significant. I especially want to thank City Clerk Jesse Carpenter for being my rock in no small way, and to the rank and file of this city staff who do their job so well with little attention and little credit. Thank you. I must confess that my 2 years on council have been a heavy lift, but very, very rewarding. The most rewarding aspect has been the relationships that I have developed with you, the residents, and learning about the talents that you bring. Your advice and counsel has been essential to my grasp of complex issues. You have helped me face multiple headwinds on controversial policies and hold up key principles such as accountability, stewardship, and economic justice. Thank you very much. Congrats to the new council members, wherever they are, Jessica, Roger, Curtin, Amy. I'm excited that a new council will take the reins and ask the tough questions needed, and with city staff, find creative solutions. Our city elections results suggest that a change is desired. I wish you the very best and would gladly share notes over a cup of coffee or a beer. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Gibson. Councilmember Fulcher.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. I want to thank Ward 1 residents for their support and all Tacoma Park residents, my fellow council members, the mayor, city staff, community supporters such as our business associations, friends, family, my children, and my husband. And Terry, I'll see you on December 9th for food delivery.
Thank you, Councilmember Fulcher. Councilmember Small.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to be heard. It is the most noble part of representative government. And in so doing, I would like to say some things about any number of things, but try to be as cryptic as I can, since that is what naturally happens anyway. And that is this. There's a couple of things. Number one, there will always be a distinction between philosophy and sophistry. And number two, the more difficult one, and the one that probably only the people up here really know, is that if you were to look at the experiences that I had as a councilperson, from the perspective of the councilperson, under any given set of circumstances, that would be probably labeled to some degree as trauma, except for as like a black dude. And I want you to think about that for a second, because it's just the truism. Now, the critical thing about that is that somewhere in the middle of the process in becoming an effective council person or a person who cares about these kinds of issues, I think it kind of depends on when you do it as to when you get your understanding of it. Now, I happen to grow up in the 90s. My sophomore year, I walked up to a professor in the middle of an Afrocentric revolution in America, and I told them that everybody said that the Greeks got all their stuff from Egypt. And the professor looked at me and said, well, even if that's true, wouldn't you want to know? And I said, that's a good point. And so I began a journey of intellectual discovery in the context of whatever else you become, political science major, yada, yada. But the larger point is that, like, as the world tromps along, you can't expect anything different than the natural order of things to occur, because things always revert to a mean. And so in a situation where you have an overabundance of melanated talent, you're going to end up in a situation where you are similar to what Martin Luther King said about the fact that you're going to end up inadvertently talking about things that make other people uncomfortable. And it's your natural inclination to do that because you've grown up that way your whole life. And it's not like it's hard to figure them out here. Particularly when you start looking at the wards versus other wards things and equity things. I would like to say to you all that it doesn't make any difference if you're first to market with the sloganeering of wanting to be better people or less hostile or any number of things. It matters if you actually feel that way. And like, it doesn't necessarily matter if you go from one person to another if the effectiveness doesn't occur. And I'm thankful for the fact that for whatever reason and however it shakes out, it is in the best interest of this entire ecosystem to make sure that the person who comes in after me is successful. And I want that to be heard and understood, because she's about to take on a hurdle that I don't think people are paying attention to in the context of the modern world that we live in, and or the reflexive actions of the national elections. But we're about to do a really, really, really good thing here. But that good thing is only good if you're willing to appreciate that that person has the right to be here and to create her own destiny up here, regardless of what the grand masses of people who may be in here are in here for. And so as I get done doing this, I'd like to say that the fundamental irony about this is that it really is true that I bet Jemana $1 that I was unelectable in this city. And as an unknown quantity, to some degree, I was. And so I would like to end, I begin, in the face of what I'd either probably call it some sophisticated behavior or some hypocritical behavior. It doesn't really matter. But if we must die, let it not be like hogs hunted and penned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our accursed lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain, so that even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us, though dead. O kinsman, we must meet the common foe, and though far outnumbered, let us show us brave. And for their 1,000 blows, deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll face the murderous and cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying, but fighting back. Yeah, and I'm so thankful. These lights are really, really hard to deal with. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Small. And having sat in that seat, those lights are very bright.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Councilmember Anzai.
Here on those lights. That was my seat. It's hard to go after you. I just want to, I don't have pre-prepared remarks. I'm going to share with you why I was in a big rush. Came in, running in here at the last minute because right before I came here, I went with my Czech husband and two oldest children to celebrate the 1989 Velvet Revolution in the Czech Republic downtown in the DuPont Underground. It was the 35th anniversary yesterday. And I looked at the television with my husband, who escaped in 1988 by himself. the rest of his family is still there. And, you know, he was watching with a lot of emotion the hundreds and thousands of people that I saw in the streets of Prague, you know, with their candles. And tonight it was just a beautiful moment to share that with our oldest children who have never had that experience. And I'm telling you about it because to be able to go from there to here, I decided it was worth it because tonight I want to feel that democracy is alive and well. As you have just pointed out, there's going to be a transfer of power to new people, and it will be peaceful. And I'm really proud of that, and grateful to be a part of this place and this time here. So to my fellow council members, Randy Gibson, I'll never forget within the first week of council when you took me up to see a part of my own ward that I'd never seen before. We went up to see, we romped through the mud and we went up to see the northern section of our ward where there is a piece of public space that is not really being utilized except for growing trees, but that is a good utilization, ecosystem services. So thank you for your camaraderie throughout the process. And Shayna, I want everyone to know that Councilmember Fulcher and I didn't really know each other before, even if it might have looked like it. I had seen her as a PTA president, as a Girl Scout leader from afar. The first time I ever spoke to her is to ask her where she got her pink signs. And she shared that with me. But what I have come to learn about Shayna as a fellow council member that is really important to me that everybody is aware of is no matter what your values are or what you think about the policies that she has stood up for, she has publicly and privately shown up consistently for wards 4, 5, and 6. And that has meant so much to me as the Ward 5 council member. She's shown up to see, to listen, to be present, even not always saying things. And she has advocated behind the scenes for a number of things that really, really mattered and that take time and a lot of energy and allies to accomplish. So I just want to thank you. And Councilmember Small, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I really value you as a colleague and as a person who always reminds me of truths as you see them and really important things that I need to hear. And I'm grateful for that. And Councilmember Siemens, your compassion and your commitment to justice and equity are beautiful to me. You are a true inspiration. I feel almost just overwhelmed by the idea that you could be ready to retire and that I'm sitting here. Thank you. And I can only dream of trying to do what you have done for this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Honzak. Councilmember Siemens.
You know, it's been 25 years and think about what I should say, but you know, I don't have any experience in being in the same position, even though I've been here for 25 years. This time I'm not going to be back up here in the dais again. You know, it's all about the people, and you've heard that from everybody here tonight. It's the people that really make this job. It makes us who we are, and it gives us the rewards that we get. You know, I thank my colleagues here on the council, and I don't have, in 25 years, I can't go through individual names, so, but you've all been, you know, fantastic to work with. I really appreciate that. And for all the past council members that I've worked with, you know, it's been a lot of bright people that put in a lot of hard work up here. And I really thank you. You know, I didn't know what I was doing when I got in this job, and I really appreciate everybody's participation in helping me to learn more about how to do this, and also what I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. I've heard both sides of that. You know, I thank the city manager and the staff, you know, all through the years. We've had, I think, a good relationship, and it's been motivating to me to see how hard the employees of this city work and how dedicated they really are to a very special city, a city that's recognized not just here locally, but worldwide as a leader of the progressive people in the world. And, you know, I have to, of course, thank the Ward 4 neighbors that I have that are the ones that supported me for so many years and kept putting me back in office. I always said that, you know, I wanted to, I always wanted somebody to come along and really want this job and somebody I could be confident in to replace me when I left. And for whatever reason, I never felt that I found that person, and maybe it's because I didn't want to leave the job. Anyways, you know, it's I've not only felt responsible to the people who elected me in Ward 4, but also to the rest of the residents here in Tacoma Park, because when you sit up here at the dais, you're really representing the interests of the whole community and trying to find the answers on how do we continue Tacoma Park into being a great place to live and a great place to work. And then there's the people who come to these meetings that are kind of special Tacoma Parkers, you and many others that come. But, you know, I've really appreciated the feedback that I've gotten, both here at the city council meetings, but also out on the streets. I could say I've never been flipped off by a city resident. I'm glad to know that. I'm sorry to hear that anybody was. But you know, we all sit up here trying to do our job and the best we can. And even the negative feedback that we get many times is helpful, has been helpful in, you know, shaping my views, because it's important to understand other people's opinions. And so when someone is angry about where the direction things are headed, it's good to listen to them to find out why and see whether it fits in with something that can be different. And as somebody said here, finding the middle ground somehow where we can all agree. And I know that you all know that I could have never done this by myself. Got my wife. I just thank you, Joyce, for your support and assistance. I look forward to continuing working with you. Well, I know we're not going to sit home and just sit and talk. You don't have anything to lobby me about now. Anyways, I thank everyone. This is a great community. We continue to plan to work here in the community and maybe find different ways to help it than sitting up here on the dais. Thank you.
Well, it's hard to follow up Councilmember Seaman. You know, there are a few folks who understand what it's like to be a mayor. Bruce Williams is in the back. He knows it very well. Former mayor of the city of Tacoma Park. But it's often hard to bring a group of strangers, if anyone is familiar with the real world, who's brought together to lead a city, who in many cases don't know each other beforehand, but have to agree on a group of common goals, agree on approaches to tackling some of the big issues that our community is facing. And I want to thank all of my colleagues here We were a majority new council. Many folks were elected for the first time into their positions, and yet we dealt with some of the most difficult things the city has encountered. We dealt with a minor master plan amendment and got that through. We dealt with housing credits. We revamped how we do budgeting in the city. We hired a city manager and deputy city managers. We continued to build this beautiful library, which now has brick front. And more importantly, we heard from our residents and strived to be actively involved in tackling some of the bigger issues that impact not just our city, but the entire nation. So to each and every one of you, Councilmember Gibson, thank you so much for your service. I really appreciate it. We talked long and hard. We didn't always agree, but we figured out a way to put something on paper. So I appreciate that. And Councilmember Fulcher, my dog walks talking to you about economic development will not be forgotten. And don't be surprised if I still call you just to talk. Because one of the things that you really instilled in me is the value of our youth, getting out there to Blair, talking to our students. There's so much talent in the youth in this community. And Councilmember Fulcher just has this way of connecting. It's a special gift and something that I think is really important for us to make sure we continue to build on council. Councilmember Small, I'm gonna miss our text messages, although I don't think they're going to stop. Oh, no. But I do think I appreciate your directness and desire to continue to move your ward forward, addressing some of the issues that have been longstanding in the community. And if you don't throw the fist high, no one else will, right? And so I am appreciative for all of the work that you've done for Ward 6 and for the city. And Councilmember Siemens, you know, I don't think you all know, I wasn't sure if I was gonna run for mayor. And Councilmember Siemens and Joyce said, you gotta run. We need you to run. And I said, well, Councilmember Siemens, if I run, it's my first time, you can't go. Oh, don't make me cry, Terry. Everybody knows. So growing up in the South, I would be in church, couldn't go to sleep. And my grandma would always pass us little candies. And so Councilmember Siemens, every council meeting, when he would see things get a little difficult, would pass me a candy. And I cannot express how much I appreciate your leadership. You've given me room to fail, and your dedication to the city and to each and every person that is in this community, regardless of where they live or their background or their history. You all just show pure love to the people in this community. And so, thank you very much. And so with that, I would like to make a motion for us to adjourn.
So move. Second.
I knew you was gonna be first. Do I have a second? Thank you very much. So tonight's meeting of this city council is adjourned.
Names first or Mike's first? Yeah.
Can I have all former council members, we're gonna take a photo with proclamation. Okay? All right.
Where do we all sit? Right now. Let's go. Amazing. We're gonna take a photo.
Shayna. Yes. Photo in first. In front. Okay.
Mayor, do you want us in here in this too? Okay, I'm coming. Stall, we haven't found it. Stall, we haven't found it. I know, I'm coming.
Shannon gets Miss Photogenic, I think. Oops.
Yeah, so you haven't done that. Not gonna be in the photo. You're fine. I'm fine. She's fine. Okay.
So I'm here.
Yes. Okay.
Jessica said she said she was. I wanted to jump with you for flowers.
They found them.
They found them.
Okay. All right, cool. Let me just make sure we get everyone else. Hold on one second.
I don't think she did. I think we're just winging it. Yeah. She can rearrange.
Okay.
Take it.
Let me capture this moment with the mayor. I got a picture. It's true.
I think you're going to be sworn in here.
See if this mic is working. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. If I can get everyone's attention, please. Can I get everyone's attention, please? Thank you all so much. We are about to perform the swearing in portion of tonight's meeting. And this is where myself, along with the entire council, will be sworn in as the new Tacoma Park City Council.
Hello, my name is Karen Bushel, and I am the clerk of the court for Montgomery County Circuit Court, and I have the honor to administer the oath to the mayor. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Talisha Searcy,
I, Talisha Searcy,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
And that I will,
And that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of mayor
execute the office of mayor
according to the Constitution and laws of this state
according to the Constitution and laws of this state
and the laws of the city of Tacoma Park.
and the laws of the city of Tacoma Park.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Right. So now I will be swearing in our next council. Representing Ward 1, Jessica Landman. All right. And so if you could just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jessica Landman,
I, Jessica Landman,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of City Council Member
execute the office of City Council Member
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state
and laws of the state
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
Wonderful. Congrats.
Smart ones.
Next, representing Ward 2, Councilmember Cindy DeBala. Can you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Cindy DeBala,
I, Cindy DeBala,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance
be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of
to
Maryland
the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of City Council Member
execute the office of City Council Member
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state
and laws of this state
and laws of the City of
and the
Tacoma Park.
laws of the city of City of
Tacoma
Tacoma Park.
Park. Yes.
One of those cities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ward 3, Roger Slagle. You can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Roger Slagle,
I, Roger Schlegel,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance
be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of City Council Member
execute the office of City Council Member
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state
and laws of the state
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
Congratulations. Next up, Ward 4. Kurt Gilbert. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kurt Gilbert,
I, Kurt Gilbert,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance
be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of City Council Member
execute the office of City Council Member
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state
and laws of this state
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up, Ward 5. Kara Hansack. Raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I, Kara Hansack,
I, Kara Honzak,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful
be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of City Council Member
execute the office of City Council Member
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state
and laws of this state
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
Congratulations. And last but not least, Ward 6, Amy Westlick. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Amy Westlick,
I, Amy Weselick,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will
and that I will
be faithful and bear true allegiance
be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of City Council Member
execute the office of City Council Member
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state
and laws of this state
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
and the laws of the City of Tacoma Park.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And with that, we have a new city council, and I would like to ask for all of our city council members to please find your spot at the dais.
Yeah, we need someone to stand in front and point. So I apparently haven't moved.
Have you moved?
You've moved.
No, I'm in the same spot.
You're here. Yeah,
According
you
to
and
this
you and I are
right
in
now.
the same spot.
Are you in the same spot?
Maybe next week. I don't know.
I don't
This
know
is
if
fine.
long-term or
This is fine.
just tonight.
This is fine.
I've got a lot of stuff on my chair. Sorry. Got some more stuff there.
No, you're good.
All right.
Jesse, I don't. I don't. Do you need me to look it up on my phone?
Oh, are we standing?
Give their comments.
Okay.
I felt like I was missing something. All right. Yeah, but we're missing the proclamation. All right. Make your mic go live, but this button, your mic will go red, that will show right. When you're done, just hit that button, and then you're no longer, I can see you. And all that, hit the buttons on the screen. So wait for me to follow you, especially when you didn't see how the Good evening. I would like to call tonight's meeting of the Tacoma Park City Council to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Searcy.
Here.
Councilmember Landman.
Here.
Councilmember DeBala.
Present.
Councilmember Schlegel.
Here.
Councilmember Gilbert.
Here.
Councilmember Hanzak.
Present.
Councilmember Wesselek.
Here.
Wonderful. So, welcome to my new colleagues. And so while we are dealing with one technical issue in terms of a proclamation that is missing, just want to remind folks that we will be doing a proclamation designating a mayor pro tem. And I don't want to steal my own thunder, but you know, it will be Councilmember DeBala, just so that we all. But as soon as we find that missing proclamation, we will take care of that. So with that, I would like to go ahead and move to the next agenda item, and that is public comments. Do we have any public comments this evening?
Well, surprise, surprise. Good golly, Miss Molly. Congratulations to all the council members, all the new ones and the ones who just re-upped. Boy, you've got a certain level of sanity. But all right, well, good. Congratulations to everyone. And thank you, Mayor, for the thing. What I'm here to talk about, though, this time is Ward 3. First, wait a minute. Who's it? As well as Ward 1. Thank you. I know Justin too, so thank you for that. But Ward 3. Let's tell you something about Roger. Years ago, we were sitting at the, they were doing the voting and everything else, and Roger was out there doing his stuff that he normally does. And he was about to get elected, we thought. And it was like off by 8 votes, I think, Roger. It was 8 votes or something like that. It was off by about 8 votes or something like that. I said, you should do a recount. You should do that. And you know what he said? He said, no, I'm not going to challenge it. I said, why not? He said, because that would make the entire council all male. He said, and that's not right. And that's when Katie got in, and she went from council person to mayor, and, the rest is history. But that's the kind of character this guy has, because that's community first. That's community first. And that's what he did. He put community first. We were standing right beside each other. I said, no, let's do this. He said, Reginald? I was like, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. He would not call for a recount. He would not call for, he refused to do it. And I'm like, what? But in getting to know him, and we've known each other for a number of years now, and getting to know him, he just is that kind of guy. So he does that kind of thing. He's done a lot of stuff for the city. I'm sure as all of you have too, but he's done a lot of things for the city you don't know about. And people don't know about in campaigns. And I say again that we can do win-win stuff. You don't have to malign each other for when you're running for election. You don't have to talk about each other in negative ways necessarily. You can bring up truths, but you don't have to bring up negative things. Now I understand some of that went on during the campaign. Unnecessary in our Tacoma Park family. So again, Roger, congratulations. And I say it's about time.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments this evening? Is everybody just ready for cake? All right. Well, let's allow our new council members the opportunity to provide their first set of public comments. So with that, Council Member DeBala.
I wasn't sure if I count as a new council member or not.
You are.
Thank you. I wanted to just, following up on what Reginald just said, I'm looking forward to the next 2 years as a team, and welcome to all of you. And while we may disagree, I'm sure we'll disagree respectfully. And I think underneath that, knowing all of you as I do, that I think we share some values that we might differ on approaches, but I do think we share some common values about the city. And if we can hang on to that, I think it's going to be a great couple of years. There is so much basic work of the city that's just for the common good: the budget, the staff, all the issues that nobody talks about when they come to public comment that are so important to running the city. And I look forward to doing this with you and to offer to the new members, if any of you, I'm happy to meet with any of you to help answer questions, talk over issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember DeBala. Councilmember Honzak.
I just want to say welcome to all of my new colleagues, and I'm going to share with you a piece of advice that Councilmember Siemens shared with me. If it's already been said, you don't need to say it again.
Councilmember Wesleyan.
Hi, thank you all so much. I'm really excited and looking forward to working with everyone. I know we all want cake, so I will try to keep this as brief as possible, but, and I don't want to be too much of a downer, but while campaigning, there were a lot of priorities coming up about what people in Ward 6 wanted and what was best for the city. And right after Election Day, it became very clear to me what is going to be maybe my top priority, maybe our top priority for this coming term. And that is to be protecting all of our residents, particularly our very large, diverse, amazing immigrant population. We don't know what the future will hold. I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm anxious and afraid of what 2025 might bring to our country, but I'm very proud that Tacoma Park is a sanctuary city, meaning that we will not cooperate with any federal law enforcement regarding immigration. All are welcome here, regardless of where you were born, regardless of what papers you may or may not have. And I'm committed to supporting any and all ways possible we have to protect our residents, all of our residents, from harassment, intimidation, or worse. So I know there's going to be a lot of challenges. I'm ready. And thank you all for entrusting me with this great responsibility.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Gilbert.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, thank God. I'm gonna thank God for this opportunity to serve my community again in another capacity. I'm very grateful and humbled to be sitting in this seat that I'm sitting in right now. Someone who's such a hero to me during my career in Tacoma Park. I really looked up to Terry, and I'm so humbled to be sitting in this chair. During my campaign, so many people heard me tell my personal story of how I came to Tacoma Park when I was 5 years old. And my mom brought us here after the untimely death of my father, and how this community shaped me and my brother. If I could just take a moment to acknowledge my mom who's in the building and my brother sitting over there. There's a phrase that the young people say these days, and whenever they think they're hot or they've done something special, it's "I am him," and she is her. She is a very strong and powerful woman in my life, and I'm very grateful that she's here to see this today. I want to thank a lot of people who helped me throughout the campaign. Mike and Sarah and my Sherman Avenue crew and the Hancock Avenue crew, and some of the people that I've met on Sheridan. Calvin Stover, thank you so much for your support. We had a very good voter turnout for Ward 4, if I'm not mistaken, the largest in history or for a very long time, and I'm proud of that. I want to thank Tony Carey, my opponent. He raised, he got some people to take note to an issue that's very important to all of us. And I look forward to working with you, Tony, on those issues. I received 2/3 of the vote, and there are probably 200 some odd people that I need to get their vote as well. And I look forward to working and finding those people and working with them to better our community going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Gilbert. Councilmember Schlegel.
I want to thank everyone here tonight for the great feelings of goodwill and gratitude that have been expressed. We really do live in a really special community. Speaking of gratitude, I want to thank my wife, Sasha Place, who's here this evening. And because everyone knows it's a family effort. And I want to thank my kids, Theo and Ainsley, and my brother, Greg, who showed up unexpectedly. Greg, since you're here, I think we know how our parents would both be happy about this. Dad was all about teaching us that problem solving was always at its best when everybody in the room was being listened to, and especially the person who seemed to be least attended to crane your ear towards that person. And our mom was amazing at giving everybody every benefit of the doubt and finding a way to love every single person. So I hope I can do that from up here. Thank you to Randy for all of your service, your example. I want to thank the other two candidates in Ward 3, Matt Bormett and Lucy Moore, who raised really important issues. And the only reason I ever ran for anything in Tacoma Park was because you need debate. And we talked a lot about housing. We talked a lot about protecting people who are insecure. And I definitely heard those things from Matt and Lucy and from a lot of other people. Community first, Reginald, community first. Community is based on connection, and like Councilmember Small says, it's an ecosystem. And so I hope we have a great ecosystem working together here as a team and linking with everybody in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Schlegel. Councilmember Landon.
Thank you, Mayor Searcy. It does look different from up here than it does from down there at the podium. All of a sudden, 3 minutes seems like plenty of time. You know I'm joking, and I am very honored to be representing Ward 1, and I look forward to representing all of the residents of Ward 1, the ones who voted for me, the ones who didn't vote, and even the ones who voted against me, because that is one of the most exciting things, to find commonality. As Cindy said earlier, I think there are common values among everyone here on this council, and that the city of Tacoma Park can continue to be the kind of place, as Terry said earlier, that other people look to as an example for community, for leadership, for progressive values. And the next 2 years are going to be challenging in the political context that we currently live in. I think we're very lucky to be in the state of Maryland, and I'm very proud of our own state setting a good example, and I think our city council is going to be a local version of that. I look forward to the next 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Landon. Well, I am so grateful to not only the folks that are here at the dais, but those that ran. You know, it takes a lot to put yourself out there to run for a public office. You hear a lot of good things about you, and you also hear a lot of bad things about you. But the fact that we are able to come out of this election season with our community values intact is a true testament to us as a city. I think it's going to be really important going forward because we have a lot of challenges that lie ahead. We've already heard about the current political climate and our status as a sanctuary city. We're hearing from on high as it relates to the state, but also as it relates to our city, you know, making sure that we're able to continue to fund the wonderful things that we value and hold dear in our city. But I think one of the things that's even more important as we continue to move forward as a community is that we embrace our character, we embrace our values, and that we serve as that beacon of hope to other communities across this country of what is possible when you have 2 or 3 or even 7 that are joined together in a shared vision and goal for making our community better. So I look forward. You know, now is the time. We're no longer running. Now we have to lead. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we embark on leadership together. And so with that, I do want to thank a few folks who've put up with me during not only this election, but others. I want to give a special thank you to Haley, Kelly, and Hannah, and all the girls that have been just really, really, really rock stars in helping to keep me on track. I want to thank Ms. Doris. No, probably don't realize, but thank you, Ms. Doris, for keeping me on track and what I need to do. And I also want to thank my family, my friends who supported me from near and far, and definitely my mama. I'm so grateful to you, Mom, for giving me a fighting spirit to believe that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So thank you very much. So with that, we found the missing proclamation. And I have the pleasure of reading a mayoral proclamation for the appointment of the mayor pro tempore. Whereas the mayor serves as a member of the city council, sets an agenda, and presides at all meetings of the council. And whereas in accordance with the city charter, the mayor has the power to appoint a member of the council as mayor pro tem, who shall serve in the mayor's absence. Now therefore I, Talisha Searcy, mayor of the city of Tacoma Park, Maryland, do hereby appoint Councilmember Cindy DeBala, Ward 2, as the mayor pro tem. And so I want to thank Councilmember DeBala for all of her hard work. You heard during the last council meeting how many folks really appreciate Councilmember DeBala's mentorship and support of members of council. So thank you so much. And so with that, we are ready for cake. So with that, I would like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you, Councilmember Honzak, for seconding. Everyone have a wonderful night and enjoy cake.